Doki Genyo everyone, the Starlight Let's Player is here, and welcome to part 2 of Doki Doki Pretty Cure Narikari Life. Now, if you click on your the phone, which is Sharuru, you'll basically go into this little mini game here, and she explains to you that you basically have to match the correct symbols onto the message, so you can actually send a message to whoever mana is sending the message to. So yeah, it's a pretty simple mini game. Like the previous ones, you can choose whichever difficulty you want, either easy or hard. So it's a very simple mini game. Nothing to actually worry about. And yeah, you just click on the correct symbols. Now I did say that this playthrough will be semi-blind, because at first I didn't know. I honestly did not know what I was doing. But when I saw the symbols on top of the message, I knew that I had to match the correct symbol onto the message so I can send the message. And even so, I still ended up getting this one. I still ended up completing this minigame with a gold medal. So yeah, nothing too challenging at all. I believe even if you put it on hard mode, I don't think it will be that challenging. In fact, I will say some of these that you put on hard mode, it will still be pretty easy. You'll see once I get to some of the other minigames, once we play some of the other minigames on hard mode. But yeah, that was the minigame. So technically, it was pretty much like 11 minigames. One of them having to be with your we have to play with your. One of them where you have to do this minigame with your kill link. And I believe what it's called. Again, I'm trying to correct me in the comments if I get it wrong, but yeah. And another minigame which I'll explain later on. So now I'm switching over to Makoto for this part, because for one, she's actually my favorite cure in Doki Doki Pretty Cure. And two, basically, I want to make sure that every cure pretty much get their time to shine in this playthrough. So yeah, in order to I need to continue on with the next story, so I'm gonna try this minigame once again. And again, I really appreciate the fact that they let you choose whether you want to go through over the tutorial or not. I really like that a lot. So, remember when I said back in part 1, where if you choose on the hardest difficulty, more plates will disappear? Yeah, this is apparent this is actually apparent here. When you go on the hard mode of this minigame, two of the plates will disappear, and you have to match them. Again, my advice: go for the ones that disappears first. For example, you saw that rectangular prism one, along with the carrot plate. I had to go for those two first, before going to the one that I can actually see. So just go for the plates that disappear first, so that way it'll be easier for you to remember which place that disappear, which gives you the chance to actually match the correct plates. So yeah, that's a very good tip here. Very easy minigame, like I said. And such bullshit there. I did it correctly and I still got a silver medal. What the fuck? This game, you and your bullshittery. Anyways, now we have to continue on. Now we can finally continue on with the story. So we have to head back. So we have to head back to the embassy. Yeah, so now we have to head back to the embassy to see what's up. And yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that theme with that plays. Eventually, whenever we go into the story, whenever we continue on with the story. But yeah, apparently Mana is calling that turns out that I believe is in trouble, is in danger due to a Jikochuu, and now we have to head into town in order to stop it. Like, I don't know if I said this before, but I'll just point this out right now. I don't really like seasons that have monsters to where they I don't like seasons to where they have the MOTWs, you know, just turning the humans into monsters to be made based off of humans. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just prefer like something like maybe Smile Pedicure or Sweet Pedicure. Well, instead of using monsters as a host to create an MOTW, they would just use actual objects to do that. Like they did in the old seasons, like from Futarawa all the way to Splash Star. Well, not all the way Splash Star, but from Maxwell all the way to S5 Go-Go, as well as Fresh. Also Sweet Pedicure, Smile Pedicure. And yeah. The same can also be said for Maho Girls as well. And I believe, yeah, I would say Kira. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've seen this season, but I'm willing to bet Kira also did the same as well. So I appreciate that. I really do like that kind of detail. Cause like, I don't know, I just don't find the manipulation of humans being turned into monsters to be that appealing to me. But that's just me though. Ugh. And yeah, I've gone over this. I don't understand why I have to go 30 seconds to actually spell out the actual letters of love just to transform, when some of the previous games actually let us transform really correctly, or in some cases they just transform automatically. But I digress. Anyways, we're on to the next minigame, which is a new one. And in this one, we basically have to find the fairies. So every now and then they will just pop up, and you have to click on them. You have to like click on them at the right time. You're essentially just finding them in time before the timer runs out. You know, and you'll notice at the bottom that there's actual symbols down there. It actually dictates on how many you collected, and if you collected all, and if you find all of them before the timer runs out, then you win the mini game. Again, it can be played on easy or hard, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now we gotta put the Lovey on top of Dabi. And then we're gonna have to spell out we have to draw out the whole circle on the pad. We've seen Cure Heart's attack, My Sweetheart. Now this is Cure Sword's attack, which is Holy Sword. And when I was younger and I was watching this for the first time, I was always thought to myself, why is she called Cure Sword if she doesn't use a sword? Like that's the implement. Like she uses sword-based attacks. Well, but they're just mainly projectiles. I was kind of hoping that she would actually like pull out and use an actual sword. Something like that. At least Kill Lovely did in the next season. So I was kind of wondering why couldn't they just give Cure Sword an actual sword for her to use, or maybe they could just like gave her an attack to where she uses an actual sword in order to defeat the MOTW. That's just what I think. But anyways, we're on to the next mini game, and for this one, we're making ice cream. For this minigame, we basically just have to match the correct flavors. Again, doesn't matter. I said this before, doesn't matter which difficulty you are. This one is extremely easy. You're gonna get it regardless. You're just matching the right flavors on top, and then when you get to the second part of the minigame, it doesn't matter what toppings you choose, because you'll still win this one eventually anyway. Wait, I just had ice cream sandwiches earlier. I had like red velvet. I had like red velvet ice cream sandwiches where they just had sandwiches, you know, where the actual shells of the ice cream sandwiches, they're actually just red velvet, the soft red velvet cookies which is with vanilla ice cream in between. So I think that was actually really good. Actually, I don't think this is ice cream. I think this is probably parfait. If it's parfait, then I'm sure Kill Parfait would be so proud of this minigame. I kind of wish Kill actually had their own minigame, or had their own video game. Like that's just one thing. Go Princess was the final video game to come out on the Nintendo 3DS. So you would think that maybe after Go Princess, you would think that maybe Maho Girls or Kill they will also get their own video games, right? But unfortunately, that never actually happened. And instead, we got a gacha game, which was called Pretty Good Connection Puzzling. Me and my friends, we played it before. It's a bit of a shame that the game discontinued, because I felt like it could have continued on. Like, I'm pretty sure it had a big shelf life. Maybe if it was marketable around the world, then maybe they could have had a chance. Maybe they could have sold more. Maybe they could have continued on with the game. That's not saying much, considering that Sailor Moon Drops was released worldwide on mobile devices, and yet that game got discontinued, which was really unfortunate, by the way. And there's no other way to play that game anymore, which is unfortunate. So many of these amazing games to be discontinued. But yeah, the two slot machines, I already mentioned about these, but what I didn't mention is that the pink one actually lets you pick whatever kind of decorations you want for the room, or whatever kinds of clothing you want for your characters, which I'll get into in a bit. But the blue one is a slot machine where you can actually possibly win a lovey. And it doesn't really matter what kind of lovey, because there's a whole bunch of loveys in the game. And again, that was actually one of my criticisms back in my top 5 worst Pretty seasons video, was that like the story felt like it was all over the place. They had so many like mini arcs and scenarios that they had to go through, which I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like, okay, I get it. Can we just focus on an actual main story instead of like just going through all these side quests? It's the same issue I had with Maho Girls, but I stated that Maho Girls did it better, and that's mainly due to its world building, which I really enjoyed a lot. But anyways, we're on to our next minigame, and this is actually the 11th minigame that I was talking about. This one is centered around the fairy baby Eye. So essentially you have to click on the correct images that Eye pretty much shows up. So you're essentially just trying to keep her from crying. you have to pick the exact right. You have to pick the right thing that I want, whether it be to. As you can see, most of these are just playing music, whether it be just a sheep or an actual music note or the drums or the trumpet, whichever one that I want, you have to give it to her. Once again, I'm playing this on hard mode. And yeah, it's essentially you just basically trying to keep that meter all the way to the green, and you're doing this as fast as you can before that meter actually drops. But what makes it harder is the timer. As you can see, like if you're playing this on easy mode, the timer doesn't go down that fast. But if you're playing this on the harder difficulties, the timer will go down faster. So it's essentially you just gotta make sure you do this as quick as you can before that timer runs out, or try and do this as quick as you can if you want to get the gold medal. And I really like I really like games like these that, you know, that can be really challenging. That can actually put me to the test. That can actually make me push. That can actually make me push my limits, like push me through. Just like, you know, something that can be more challenging, that I can enjoy, that I can have a fun time, something that I can actually push me to my limits, that I can surpass them. And that's what I like about video games, the fact that they can give out that kind of challenge. So yeah, that's the mini game. We got a gold medal for that. Again, super easy, nothing mind-boggling. So yeah, like I said before, if you play this on hard mode, you essentially get 5 parts instead of 3. So now we're going on to the wardrobe. So unlike some of the previous games where they have the wardrobes and you have to pick the right, like you have to pick certain kinds of clothing you want. Instead, they have these preset outfits that you can click on, and I really do. And I think this is a lot better because it actually makes it more unique for me. It makes it more easier for me to pick out which outfit I think suits them best. Like for example, we see Mako in her dress that she wears whenever during her idol sessions. And yeah. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. Nothing else to show off. I think in the next part I'll probably show off the next song, which I hope does not get hit with copyright like the last part did. So I had to re-upload that part like 3 times just to make sure that it falls into fair use. But yeah. So once again, clicking on the card, and this time I got Cure Rosetta. So stick around for the next part. Stick around for part 3. But until then, it's the Starlight Let's Play signing out. As always, Goki Genyo, and have a star-tastic day, everyone.
I knew I would fulfill my dream, yeah. They knew I started from the bottom, now I made it, yeah. The possibilities are endless, yeah, I say, yeah. I got the roots and I got everything I need, yeah. And now I'm chilling with a pretty gentle lady, yeah. She got a kind and gentle personality, yeah. She got them curvy hips and a booty for booty.